talking about how we can add one last maybe step or a couple of more steps to change these rotations. I mean, when we have shift list, it's basically shifting with the numbers. So if you want to use this, what you can do here is to have control this, have this, copy this and paste, and then copy this. This time, move it along on XY plane. XY plane, not XZ plane. Also, we'll be using an XZ plane, YZ plane too. And then just move it along here. So what it's gonna give us, I believe, is a bit further control. And if I make this 0, a bit further control on the angle. So if I preview this off, so also preview this off, preview the lines that we are having. Where are those lines? Lines, yeah. So if we make it 0, you see, we will have a bit better control with the angle. I think that's why we can still stick to the angle XY rotation. And we can also, last but not least, we can also add the YZ rotation. Copy this, by the way, XY rotation. And YZ rotation. YZ rotation can be done through this, and we can have YZ plane, which is this guy. Preview this off, have this in and connecting here, and then just put this in. So add this to this group, move it up here too. So we can have this rotation as well, and this rotation as well. So it's completely up to us actually. But then one thing we can do here, since this is the last curve, we can preview this one and we can delete this. Before we finalize our curves, one thing we can do is to maybe change the scale of these curves and how we can do that. So if I just get the end and start point of these lines, what I can do is I can scale these curves by their starting points, right? And now by their endpoints in this case. These are the endpoints, right? Or we created in that way. So one thing that we can add here is kind of a graph mapper, right? If I have the graph mapper, let's say we want to have a Bezier curve here or sine curve, okay? And one thing the next thing we can add here is the range. So if you remember very first videos of mine, you can guess how to proceed with this. You need to get the length of the numbers, and the length is going to be defining the steps. So how many we have? 26. We're gonna have, if we have 26, we will have 27 values. So what we do is put an expression, or we can put a subtraction, because expression might be forgotten by us as we don't use this definition every day, right? So we can put this in here, and I can grab this here, and you see it's basically between 0 and 1. But what I want to do, I want to remap these values. Source is 0 to 1, and it's changing 0 to 1, but my target now is going to be between, like, let's say 0.75 to 1.2. okay, and connect it here. And now if I connect this to my vector, you see it goes longer, and then it goes shorter, longer, shorter, longer, shorter kind of fashion. Obviously, if you take this down, you see that shorts are shorter. And let's just connect this here. You see, we are having this as if it's like a skirt, right? And what we can do is we can add these kind of things. So it can go up, down as well by using this, or increasing this, you see. Or one single sine wave that can have all. Okay, or maybe it's like start and goes up and then down like this. Okay, it's completely again up to you. You can have this larger, smaller, so and so forth. And like last but not least, I want to make sure this has some sort of thickness on it, like this stripes has some surfaces. So I'll be unrolling this. Oh, sorry, I'll be not unrolling, I'll be offsetting these surfaces. So offset surface, like let's say this is my surface to offset. Probably it has now the value of 1, I think. No, distance is 0. So like let's say like 2.5 millimeters maybe. Is it too much? It might be too much, not too much. Let's see that. So the next thing that we can do is we can loft this one with this one by merging these surfaces again. Merge this one to this one. So we have two surfaces and we can have the thickness. What this gives us as a value. Okay, then the other thing that we can do is their open VRAPs. When we can compile these VRAPs by joining them to one another, or we can simply extrude this. Or one thing though, this surface is not solid, so we can extrude these surfaces as well. And the direction is going to be their normal. So evaluate each of these surfaces. Evaluate surface, this is the surface, and surface closest point. This is the same trick that we've been using for a while, and we will need its area. I put the wrong value in, so the point is going to be this point. So the surface is going to be my surface, and this is going to be my UV point. I'll grab an amplitude. This is going to be my vector, and 2.5 is going to be my vector. And when I put this and I connect this, I will have closed VRAP. So you can have this too. So it's again completely up to you. The one thing that we need to be careful is, so maybe I can also this part this off and preview this off as well. So maybe we just see this and turn this off, have this guy preview this on. I can turn off the points, but the rest can stay now. So what we have done here is basically having the bottom circle, top circle, mid circle. We can change the mid circle location. We can add a lot of different stuff to this equation. And with this being said, this is pretty much it for this tutorial series. I hope you enjoy. Let me show you the end result. I hope you enjoyed this, and if you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe this channel and like this video, and I'll see you in the next playlist.